Good morning and welcome to Summer Reading with Mrs. James. I hope you all had a chance to read the book from last week, Pete the Cat, Cave Cat Pete. Today we're going to read a new story, which you should have also received in the mail. If you haven't already, it might be coming. And so the name of the story today is called A Place to Start a Family. And this is actually a book of poems about creatures that build. So not only are we going to be reading some poems, but there's also some informational things at the back of the book that tell about the different animals that are in the poem. So poetry, just in case you don't know, is a type of writing that uses rhythm and feelings and uses senses to talk about a certain topic. And so the topic today is all about, a place to start a family. So let's take a look at the picture on the front and think about where this family might live. So take a look at the animals here. You can see where they live. Okay, so that's what the poems are going to be about today. Okay, so let's just start with the beginning. There's another picture here. This is the title page. If you remember, some of you might remember that. It's another type of home, I should say. So take a look at the home there. So creatures that build. For thousands of years, people have built shelters to live in and protect their families. We use wood, cloth, brick, concrete, steel, glass, and more to create safe and unique homes. Many animals are builders too. They use materials they can find, such as dirt, leaves, grass, twigs, tree limbs, shells, fur, hair, clay, and sand. Some make their own building materials. Spiders spin their own thread. Stickleback fish make their own glue. Paper wasps make their own paper. Some animals live in their structures and some don't, and they all need a place to start a family. Turn the page to meet some of nature's most interesting architects, that's somebody who builds, and learn how they build. So take a look at that one. So you can tell what they're building there, which is a nest. And I actually have a nest right outside my window that had baby robin's eggs in it. And I bet some of you have seen around your neighborhood, maybe you've seen nests or you've seen eggs or babies hatch. We had another nest in front where they hatch. So that is a type of place that people or that animals live. So the first poem is called Builders Underground. So let's take a look at the picture here. Builders Underground. See what they're doing. I'm going to ask you some questions about it in just a minute. So, black-tailed prairie dog. Young ones kiss, play king of the hill, chirp and trill, voices shrill. Adults tunnel towns below, somehow know where chambers go. They line the nursery with care, decide where to hide their lair. Mothers guard while babies sleep, stretch and creep, warm and deep. So I want you to take a look at the picture here. And I'm going to tell you a couple of words. So the word chamber that was in that poem, it means kind of like a room. And the word nursery is a place where babies live. So I want you to take a look and see where you think the chamber might be and where you think the nursery might be. So hopefully you had a chance to spot both a chamber and a nursery. So the next few pages of this, so you're going to do some reading on your own. So all of these are about building underground. So you can see this is another type of animal that builds underground. So hopefully you have a chance to read the poem about the star-nosed mole at home. And the next one is the California trapdoor spider. There's another one that also builds its home underground. So this might be a poem that you read with family. There are lots of poems in here, so I'm not going to read all of them. And then here's another topic about building on land. So these are builders on land. This is called King Cobra. So twisting and coiling, you use your own body and magically manage with no arms or legs to craft a tight cover from layers and layers of leaves you have carried to protect your eggs. No other serpent can master this test. No other serpent can fashion a nest. Did you know that king cobras build a nest? So take a look at the nest here. See if you can spot where that king cobra's nest is. So it says that he was coiling. So coiling is kind of like to go in like a circle. So you can kind of see he's making a circle, and that's how he makes his nest. And it used the word fashion. It says to fashion his nest. Fashion is a word that means to make. So that's just a fancy word to say that that's how he makes his nest. So then there's some more builders on land. So they're termites. Some of you may have heard those before. So maybe you could read that with a family member. And the yellow garden spider. can tell what kind of home he's building, but you might know what that is. And then builders in water. So did you know that fish can build as well? So this is called the three-spined stickleback fish. So Miss Stickleback, see my nest. See, it's better than the rest. See the tunnel, see the mound. See, I made it nice and round. The best nest that's ever been. Please, Miss Stickleback, swim in. And so take a look at this little nest over here. See where the fish might go inside there. I'm going to read a little bit more about the stickleback fish in just a minute. In the back of the book, there are some interesting facts about the stickleback fish. So you could go ahead and look at those as well. So then here's some other animals that build in water. So there's a beaver. So maybe with a family member, you can read about the beaver because you're supposed to be practicing your reading at home too. And then this is the white-spotted puffer fish. Another animal that builds in the water. And so these are animals that build in the air. So this is an animal that builds in the air. You can probably see what that is right there. It's a very different looking nest. That's a red ovenbird. And then this is the white stork. So I want you to take a look at this picture. Do you see something like this before already in the book? So have you seen something like this in the book anywhere else that we noticed this picture? So look closely. If you think back to the very beginning, let's look at the front cover. So notice what kinds of animals are here. So those are storks. So that you can see that it's also right here. So it's almost the same picture as in the front. So this is a stork. I know some of you may have heard some things about storks before. Think to yourself, what's something that you know or you've heard of about a stork? Think to yourself for just a minute. Okay, so I'm going to read the poem, and then a little bit we're going to learn some more about a stork. So, when high on chimney top you nest, legend tells us those who dwell within the house are surely blessed. How old your nest no one can tell. You keep it in such good repair. Your ancestors placed it well. With sturdy sticks they build it there, where now you cast your lucky spell and raise your baby storks with care. So let's see. So you're supposed to be thinking about what you already know about storks, and then we're going to learn some things about storks. So there's some other animals that also build in the air. So this is a paper wasp, and actually I'm going to hold this here for just a second because I actually have, this is a paper wasp, but I have a wasp nest that I found. So I wanted to show you all of this. This isn't a paper wasp. This is just a regular wasp, but I found this in my yard and I thought, well, that would be pretty cool to share. So this is what another wasp nest looks like. So we can see that animals also build just like humans build. And this was once a home to a wasp. So I thought that would be fun to share. Okay, so I said I was going to read a little bit. So in the back of the book, I thought this was awesome. There are pages and pages of facts and things you can read about the animals that are inside of the book. And it also gives you other books you could go to or websites you could go to read about them. So I thought of a great idea. I'm wondering if maybe when you're done reading this, you could choose an animal either from this book or one that maybe you love, and you could write a poem about it. And then you could also go and do some research and write a little bit about that animal. Okay, just something small, kind of like a little project. So I said something about those storks, and so I wanted to read about those storks for you. So there's something about the storks here. So right here, this is the page that shows the different facts at the very back of the book. So white stork. So it says, folklore says that storks bring good luck and deliver babies, but the only babies they deal with hatch from the eggs they lay in enormous nests on rooftops, church spires, and other high places. Some nests are used by many generations of storks and can be seen 7 feet across by 10 feet deep. That is very big. You'd have to measure that out and let your parents show you how big that is. Both parents take care of chicks until they leave the nest, which happens when they are about 2 months old. Juveniles aren't very colorful, but adults are nearly 4 feet tall, with brown eyes, a red bill, and legs, a white body, black wing tips, and wings that stretch up to 7 feet from tip to tip. So those are facts, which are true things about storks. Now, some of you may have heard that storks carry human babies. They don't actually carry human babies. They really only take care of their own babies. So the other animal I wanted to read about was that fish. So let's see. This was the stickleback, I believe. Here it is, the three-spined stickleback fish. So there's not a picture of this, but you can see right here, right there, it's going to tell us all about this. So that's how you're going to find the animal if you want to read about it. This is the title here, quite the subtitle that's going to tell us about it. So let's read about it. Male sticklebacks take parenting seriously. The male picks a spot in shallow water, hollows out a pit, heaps it with algae or other plant material, adds sand, adds glue, and glues it all together with sticky goo called spigen from its own body. Swimming back and forth through the pile, he makes a small tunnel to woo a female stickleback to swim through it and lay eggs. The male fertilizes the eggs, chases the female away, and settles down to guard the eggs until they hatch. Then the male protects the babies until they can take care of themselves. Full service dad. So remember what those sticklebacks look like. They're a pretty cool looking fish, which again, I didn't realize that they could build a nest. See that nest down there that the stickleback has made. So in the back of the book, there are other interesting facts about the animals inside the book. You can read the poems, and then you can go ahead and read some interesting facts about them. And I challenge you on your own to write a poem, either about an animal from the book or one that you maybe really love, and then also write a short little few facts about it, which are true statements that you might learn either from another book or from the internet. Okay, so hopefully we can check in next time and see what you've learned about some of these animals, or maybe one that you researched on your own. All right, I hope you have a great day.